Hello my doodle darlings and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Gemma and I upload videos on bullet journaling, doodling and all things stationery. To start the new year, I'm setting up my fourth bullet journal and I'm using a Dingbats A5 dotted journal. I've bought this one in the Coral Earth edition, which has a lovely little coral doodle on it, and it also comes with a really nice info page on the Great Barrier Reef. But the first thing I do in every new journal to get over that book sweat when you're fearing putting new pen in there is just to write my name. It's the first chance at putting something in and not making a mistake. A cool feature for me in this notebook is that it all has that key and the index all pre-printed. It even has little semicircles on the right hand side of the page, let me show you, where you can colour code your different pages so that you can easily see which page is which. That is genius. And it also comes with 3 index pages as well, and there's lots of things that you can do with keys. I am unfortunately one of those people that leaves them blank. I start every journal with a future log, and with this journal there are 2 dedicated pages just for this. The page is marked up so that it can be divided vertically or horizontally, and as last year I had a horizontal spread, I thought I'd switch it up to a vertical. As well as a monthly calendar, I want little Polaroid snapshots that follow the seasons of the year. I want this to run across the top, which is why at the moment I'm just drawing out little Polaroid pictures. I think these ones are 7 dots wide by 8 dots long, and then that way inside that I can then do a little 5x5 dot square to then put my doodle in, and the hope is that it will look sort of Polaroid-esque. So I'm going to start off in January with a little tiny seed, and then as we go through February, March and so on, that little seed will grow. I'm not going to follow it to the letter. This isn't a nature documentary. My journal certainly will not win prizes for documenting the life cycle of a plant, but the idea was there, and so I've added a bit of artistic creativeness. So I'm going to go in and outline with a black Faber Castell Pitt artist pen. This one is in a small, it's just S for small. Get all the outline done, and then it's onto the bit that I absolutely cringe at for every future log, and that's filling in the calendars. When it comes to drawing and colouring in, my mind often wanders and I find myself thinking about all sorts of different things. When it comes to writing out calendar numbers, you don't want to let your mind wander. You have to think about each number that you're writing, because eventually what you'll do is write 2 number 22s or 2 4s, or you'll start June on a Thursday when it should be on a Wednesday. You get the idea. It's time to concentrate. So while I go in and add some colour to each of those little 5x5 squares in the middle of my Polaroid, I thought I'd just give you my first impressions of the Dingbat journal. Guys, I'm really loving it. I knew that I didn't want to buy another Scribbles That Matter journal, and I'm more than happy to talk to you about that on another video. So I went into an office supply store here in the UK. It's incredibly difficult to find dot grid journals in the UK. I've always had to buy mine off Amazon, but I went into office supplies because I'm a sucker for stationery, and the Dingbats journal was just sat there, bold as brass, looking at me, and I knew that was the journal that I had to have, and I'm so glad I saw it, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. The paperweight is really nice. I think it's like 100 GSM. It's got that nice sheen to it that the Scribbles That Matter journal has, so your pen glides over it. It's got your pen loops and your bookmarks, all those things you would expect it has. The paper is slightly yellower than the Scribbles That Matter, but I've tested that out with photographing and editing, and it seems absolutely fine. I really don't see it as being something that's gonna, you know, descend me into tears. I think I'm gonna manage just fine. But it's a really great journal, so I'm really enjoying it. Do you have a Dingbats journal? Am I late to this Dingbats party? In which case, my apologies. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Dingbats journal. So I've flipped onto my second future log page. So I've got 6 months on one double spread, and then I've got 6 months on the next double spread. So this one's going to follow me through from July to December. It gives me much more space down the bottom of the page to just write out different things that are coming up. And I also then get to make these nice little doodles. I did chuckle at August. I think the bird in the bird bath is probably my favourite doodle. Which I think I was probably still thinking about as I was outlining, because I then wasn't happy with the pumpkin in October, and that's usually what I do. I will be thinking about something else and it will muff up what I'm doing in the present. Usually before I start doing pages in my journal, I will do a pen test at the back of each journal. So it will just be the last page of the journal. I will write really simply at the top of the page, pen test, and then I'll go through all of the different pens that I normally use, and I'll just scribble a couple of lines on each little space to see how the pens perform, which ones bleed. You all know about the infamous purple pen that ate through pages, walls, sinks, concrete. In my last journal. So that's usually what I do. But this year I'm so behind with Christmas and everything like that. I've just not done a pen test page. So I went into this absolutely blind and was petrified as I was doing these 3 months that the darker colours were gonna sort of ghost and bleed through. So I spent a lot of time constantly drawing and then flipping the page and holding my breath to see if it bled through. It didn't. It held up brilliantly. And all is well, but I definitely would suggest do a pen test page first, and then you'll know which colours you can and can't put in your journal, and you're not going to make a massive page mistake because you've already tested it out previously. One of my go-to pages that I've had since my first journal is usually a birthdays and anniversaries spread, but as I made my lettering too big and the page is too small, it's now my birthdays and events spread. But it's just a page where I put down everybody's birthdays, anniversaries, events, so that I can see when I've missed somebody's birthday. The idea is that each time I set up a monthly, I'll come back to this spread, take off everybody's birthdays and anniversaries off that month, transfer it or migrate it if we're being, bullet journal talking lingo, migrate it into the monthly, and then I get to watch it as I inevitably forget to even send a text, because I am that type of friend. I'm sorry. So this is the last page that I set up in any new journal. I always have that future log, this birthdays and anniversaries page, that pen test page at the back of every journal, and then I will always write my name in the beginning of a journal, because then you've begun, then you've started. So I'm going to go in and add my initials of each month onto my calendar, and then that's it. Add a bit of colour, and then it's time to sit down and fill this in. The next video you will see from me, guys, is the January plan with me. So I'll set up January in this new journal. I'm a little bit excited, and that's an understatement. But I'm really excited to see where this journal is going to take me. I will get a flip through of my Scribbles That Matter journal up in its entirety. So that will be 12 months in one journal. That's coming. The January plan with me is coming. So keep watching, guys, because January is going to be a fun video month. I hope you've had a happy holiday and you continue to have a wonderful new year. Thank you as ever for being subscribed and watching. Your support is always something that keeps me going. So take care, guys, and I will see you soon.